Hi, welcome to What's Cooking with Rochelle, and today we are going to make chicken marsala. Do you love mushrooms and do you love a yummy creamy sauce with chicken? You're going to love this dish. Super simple and easy. I know you've probably ordered it in a restaurant and never thought you could make it, but trust me, when you get done today, you're going to realize how simple and easy it is. All right, so I am going to make 2 chicken breasts worth of chicken marsala, and I'll just go over what else we have here. We have a combination of baby Bella mushrooms and regular button mushrooms. We've got a little parsley that's going to be our garnish, some salt, pepper, fresh thyme, olive oil, and unsalted butter. We have marsala wine, chicken stock, and I am using half and half. You can use half and half, heavy cream, regular milk, or if you want to use a milk substitute, you can definitely do that too if you want to go dairy-free. All right, so let's get to it. So when we're cooking chicken marsala, the first thing is to prep our chicken breasts. So you buy the chicken breasts at the grocery store, right? And they come kind of like this if you don't spend the money for the hand-trimmed ones. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to make it hand-trimmed. So we're taking our knife and we're literally just going to cut this little bit of fat off. We're going to take all the fat off. And then right here, this is the joint in the chicken. So we want to get rid of that like gristly part because it's kind of gross. Now again, you can buy hand trimmed, but as you saw, it literally took me about 1.5 minutes. And there we go, we now have a hand trimmed chicken breast. Now when I do my chicken marsala, I like to make the chicken all one thickness, just like you were making chicken piccata or you were making any lightly breaded floured dish. So we're gonna take our mallet. Again, if you don't have one of these, you can use anything that's heavy to just pound it. You can use a rolling pin, a can of beans or something like that. And we're just gonna okay, so you can see this one's pounded out, and I try to always pound it with the skin side up. That way you don't break into the flesh. You see how it would have been kind of more gross if we had done it on that side. Our mallet would have got all messed up. This one I already trimmed, so I'm just gonna pound it out. Voila! Okay, so we are going to dredge this through flour, and to our flour, we are gonna add about 3/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and we're just gonna give that a quick stir. Let me grab a spoon. Okay, so nothing super fancy. You definitely probably have salt and pepper. This is just regular flour. If you wanted to do gluten-free, you could use the 1-to-1 ratio flour. You could use almond flour. If you wanted to finish it with a coconut milk to kind of give it that flavor instead of regular milk, you could use coconut flour. Okay, so these giant chicken breasts now, we're gonna cut into more reasonable size. So I'm gonna cut this one into 3. And we might cut this guy into 3 too. Let's see. Here's 1, 2, how about 4? Okay. Now we're gonna dredge it in the flour, but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my skillet on, and we are going to be cooking these in the oil and butter. Okay, now while that's getting hot, I'm just going to simply take these in them. And as you can see, nothing fancy here. We're just tossing it in the flour. Get that little guy done. Just make sure that they're coated all over, that's all. That flour is going to thicken our sauce, because you make the sauce for chicken marsala in the same skillet. You get to use those little brown goodness pieces. Now you could actually do this with an alternative meat product as well. They do sell chicken-like patties that do not have any breading or anything on them. And you could take that, do exactly what I'm doing here. You dredge it in a little bit of flour and then cook it in the skillet exactly the same. Obviously, it doesn't take very long to cook though. Now these, you'll see, will only take 5 minutes or so to cook in the skillet. You don't want to overcook them because we are going to put them back in the sauce. So you do want them cooked, but not like, not burnt, not dried out. Okay, we're done with that. So I bought some that were discount, that were already sliced, and then I'm just slicing these. And you can see it's not, doesn't have to be any specific size. If there's a specific kind of mushroom you like, use that one. And if you liked yours chopped finer, great. You can even leave them whole if you want. Just don't disturb them when you're cooking them whole, and they will get a great grill on them, sear on them. Okay. I can hear my oil bubbling. So let's stop and grab a couple of these to put in the oil. Be careful, don't splatter on yourself. Now the skillet that I'm using is only going to fit 3 at a time, so we're going to do 2 batches. Okay, the only other thing I need to chop still is some shallot. If you don't have shallot, shallot is in the onion family. And so if you don't have any, you could use some regular onion, white onion, or yellow onion. A shallot is a mixture between a onion and garlic, and it's quite tasty if you've never had it. Now I just sliced it real simply, and I'm just going to give it a quick dice. Doesn't have to be exact. We're not winning awards. We're making wonderful food that tastes good. And I'm getting all choked up about it. That's the onion. All right, let me grab a little bowl for this, and I'm going to turn our chicken. So I don't know if you could see, but there is an amazing sear going on there. When you mix oil and butter, the combination of both gives it that great browning that you love to see. All right, so our chicken is done. Let's go ahead and throw our fresh chopped shallots and our mushrooms and our fresh thyme. Now this is 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme, and this is 16 ounces of mushrooms. If you don't have fresh thyme, you could use dried cut it in half. So instead of 2 teaspoons, it'd be 1. Now coat the mushrooms in the oil and butter. And then we're just going to let them cook. They're going to take a few minutes to cook. You want the mushrooms to sweat out. That means you'll see them reduce. They'll start getting a little bit crispy. And then we'll add the rest of the stuff to make the sauce. Throw the chicken back in real fast, coat it, and chicken marsala. Okay, so the mushrooms have been cooking for 5 minutes or so. I'm going to give them a quick stir. I have not disturbed them since I put them in there. You kind of want to let them, like I said, rest and just cook themselves out. So you're going to need just a little bit more butter. Let's get our butter melted. And to the butter, we are first going to add the Marsala wine and let it reduce with the chicken stock. Okay, add in our chicken stock. This is 2/3 of a cup of chicken stock. Now, if you wanted to keep it the vegan way and you were using the fake chicken, you could use vegetable stock. It's not a problem. Now, if you don't have Marsala wine, you can find it at the grocery store where they have all the oils, where they have the regular olive oil and the balsamic oils and stuff like that. They should have it there next to the other cooking wines. You could substitute it with red or white cooking wine if you didn't, or of course if you want to open a bottle, you could always do that. Okay, and we're going to let that cook, like I said, until it cooks to about half of the volume it is right now. We're going to add in the cream and then the mushrooms and chicken, and we'll be done. Okay, so the sauce has been reducing for about 5 minutes on medium heat. Now we're going to go ahead and add our half and half. Now remember, like I said, non-dairy, use a dairy substitute. Or if you want to make it the traditional way, it's with heavy cream. But I try to cut calories if we can and still make it taste delicious. Add in our mushrooms and our chicken. Let me get our fork. Okay, and we are going to let that come back up to a boil, and then it'll be ready to serve, and we're going to garnish it with a little bit of parsley. All right, let's bring it over. Yummy, yummy. Now, if you have kids that don't like green things, don't worry. You don't have to add the parsley. If you don't have fresh parsley, no worries. Add dried parsley. Remember, cut the portions in half if the spices are dried and not fresh. So let's get one of these out of here. Get some mushrooms. Oops, I made a mess. I'll clean that up in a second. This is chicken marsala, guys. Let's dig into this wonderfulness. And you know, I have to tell you, everybody here was like, oh my gosh, that smells so good. When can we eat? Well, guess what? We get to eat. It is heaven on earth. Thank you once again for watching What's Cooking with Rochelle. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.